Eredin sped along the Hayes End Road towards a small wood. There were lights among the trees, and soon he was riding through the cluster of small cottages that was the hamlet of Haybales. When he looked over his shoulder, the Nazgul was closer. Hobbits fled in dismay as the two horses charged through their village. Eredin rode across a small market square, then followed the fork in the road that led to the west. The Nazgul's steed clattered and neighed ever closer as Eredin charged down the hill towards the river. If he could get to Hayes End Ferry, he could cross into the Marish and escape this nightmare. Gwainur barely slowed as she took the last bend before the ferry. Eredin thanked the Vala when he saw the boat moored on the east side of the river. He slowed as he rode onto the landing, then dismounted as Gwainur skidded to a halt. A hobbit ferryman ran out of a small hut near the jetty as Eredin tethered Gwainur to the ferry's guardrail.
Oi! You can't do that!
Help me haul this thing.
The ferryman planted his fists on his hips and gave him a snort and a disapproving look. Eredin started pulling on the draw rope as the drumming of hoofbeats spilled down the lane towards them.
Help me!
He roared. This shocked the ferryman into action. He scurried onto the ferry and grabbed the rope as the Nazgul appeared among the trees. He squealed and hurried to the bow before yanking at the draw rope. The ferry was a good 3 yards out from the landing, but now the Nazgul was approaching, the demonic horse breaking into full gallop. As it reached the landing, it seemed that the birds in the trees stopped singing. The steed jumped across the water and onto the ferry. Eredin drew his sword as Gwainur screamed in terror. The ferryman whimpered and let go of the rope, then ran around the deck, dodging the two horses. The Nazgul's steed reared up on its back legs as Gwainur pulled at her tether. The ferryman staggered back and fell into the river. Eredin swung at the Nazgul, who easily blocked the blow. Gwainur turned and kicked the Nazgul's horse in the knee. The steed's back leg buckled as Eredin and the Nazgul traded blows. Gwainur kicked again, catching the black horse in the hip. It staggered, and the Nazgul leapt from the saddle, but away from Eredin. They dodged the rearing horses as their swords clashed. The Nazgul brought its sword down on the draw rope, sending the ferry into a slow spin. Gwainur turned and kicked again, this time catching the Nazgul in the back. The rider slammed into his own horse. As Eredin lunged at the Nazgul's back, the robes imploded into a black bundle, dropping to the deck. As Eredin hesitated in his confusion, the Nazgul sprung back up, now facing him. Eredin staggered back in surprise. The Nazgul lunged, and Eredin parried. He tried a few swings at the Nazgul, but they were all blocked. The black horse again reared up, kicking Gwainur in the head. She staggered against the low guard rope and tripped into the water. Eredin tried a left hook, but the Nazgul caught his fist. He cried out as pain shot up his arm and felt sick at the crunch of his bones as the huge steel gauntlet crushed his hand. As Eredin feebly lifted his sword, the Nazgul leaned over and breathed in his face. It was warm and smelled of death. He felt dizzy, and the morning started to turn dark. As Eredin staggered back, the Nazgul ran him through. At the same moment, the black horse lost its footing on the edge of the ferry. It fell backwards into the river as Eredin dropped to the deck. He looked up and saw the blur of the Nazgul gazing at the black horse as it swam towards the riverbank. The ferry drifted downstream,